welcome to the Leadership Series sponsored by CIMA. Today we have an eminent personality, the Managing Director of KPMG, Sri Lanka and Maldives, Mr. Reyaz Mihular. How are you doing, Mr. Reyaz?
Hi, good.
So first of all, you have a very illustrious career. So what advice could you give young startups or professionals, especially when they're starting a business amidst this pandemic?
The first thing that I'd like to tell about how my career,
Yes,
then that will tell me
sure.
what the lessons in it. I have the shortest CV in the world. I studied all my life in one school and all my life in one firm. Now I know this may sound strange to the young people now, right? I have a son who's changed 5 jobs, right, before he's 30, but I've been in one job all the time. So, but I don't regret it. To succeed in life, I see there are 2 things that are very important, and this is my advice to young people. One is focus. You have to focus on what you want. I remember when I started accountancy and I joined KPMG as a trainee, and I enjoyed what I was doing. It was tough, but I enjoyed it, and I thought to myself, this is where I want to make a career. Now, along the way, when I got through some exams, I made some, won some prizes and did well. Obviously, offers came from industry, and industry pays much more than professional firms when you're young. And I was tempted as a young person, somebody offers you a car and, package, it looks very attractive. But, I thought to myself, no, right? I should not get distracted. If I want to be a professional, then I must stay and focus on what I want. And to date, I have not regretted that. So, focus is one. And second, most important thing is, life is not a bed of roses. In any career, you're going to have obstacles, you will have challenges. And the problem I see with some young people now is that they give up too soon. They think, oh, this is not for me. Let me try something else. And there's old saying that says rolling stone gathers no moss.
Yeah.
I know it has different views now. It is important to understand that, when you have tough challenges, to stay the course is very important. In my career, I have had challenges. And if I gave that up, I wouldn't be where I am now. So my 2 advice to young people is that when you start your career, and particularly in the current context when you have a pandemic, this is critical, being focused, because you companies are having salary cuts, you have to work long hours, you have to work because people have to do a lot, and then arise with that issue comes up, look, is this for me, right? Should I look for something else, easier, less?
Yeah.
But then you lost it. So that's why it's very critical that, particularly in a challenging times, like in a pandemic, you have to focus very clearly on what you want and stay the course.
Yeah. And speaking about the pandemic, do you think entrepreneurs should start and experiment new stuff? Or do you think they should have a gap year?
No. You see, this is what everybody thinks, that, this is a bad time to do business. We should just stay put, just, close up. I have a different view. I always believe that when you have challenges like the pandemic, along with that comes opportunities. And if you just close yourself up and say, look, I'm not going to look at anything now, I'm just going to close up, you might let all of those opportunities pass you by. So it is important that you keep your eyes open. I know that cash flow is difficult. People are very wary about spending. You have to make adjustments. You can't go through life as it's all the same and nothing's happened. No, there are adjustments you got to make. But the answer is not to lock yourself up, right? The answer lies in looking at the opportunities, seeing what they are, and picking the opportunities that come. And there is a huge amount of opportunities.
Yes.
Today you find that the ordering, online ordering, people order food. I don't go even to buy a washing machine now. I go to Daraz or one of the other online stores and buy, because the thing, you don't have to go and waste time on a store, and you get good deals. So people have got used to paying. Even things like buying fish for home. The guy delivers the fish and you transfer the money online. So these are opportunities for people who do payment systems for small enterprises. For people who want to run cook food from home. I know people who do only Uber kitchens. It's not, Uber, it can even pick me. People do kitchens only for delivery. So that's an opportunity. People have found an opportunity and used it.
They've also experimented new stuff as well.
Absolutely.
And also another thing is, what key factors do you think businesses should take into consideration, especially after COVID?
COVID taught us a very, very big lesson. We all sometimes go into what is called a comfort zone. Things are nice, everything is going well. As long as we are on cruise control mode, we are okay. And suddenly up comes the pandemic, and then all your assumptions, all your plans, everything went topsy-turvy. And people had to quickly change. And the people who succeeded and who managed the pandemic were the people who were light in their feet and who were able to adapt quickly. The people who were plodding along with their old ways found it very difficult, because they found it difficult to adjust. So agility, right, and adaptability are very, very critical things. And I think going forward, the lesson that pandemic has taught businesses, I don't think any business now will ever take things for granted. If they do, they're destined for failure.
Also, now we're going to switch it up to a topic that not only students have, but a question that not only students have, but also parents. Do you think education is something you need to prioritize when it comes to your professional life or experience, work life?
My answer is both. See, I know there are some who like to collect a whole lot of degrees and qualifications after their name. I have no issues about that. But just accumulating qualifications by itself doesn't give you a guarantee of success. Universities have now started that, and I think that's a great initiative. So I believe it is important that both are important. I know this may be controversial. I find sometimes people do the bachelor's and then they immediately do their master's. No, you see, those days universities will never allow you to do a master's till you have 2 years experience after bachelor's. But now even education has become a business. So they will offer it. You pay it, they'll give it to you. My view is that, anybody who does a bachelor's must spend some time in the real world working and then do a master's. Then he will find that what he gets will be much more valuable. I know, but recently I speak to young people are saying, look, uncle, we have finished our thing, we can't get in work, there's no opportunities right now, so therefore I'm going to continue the master's. Okay, you sometimes may have situations like that where people may want to do that, but in an ideal world, people should do the bachelor's, go out in the real world, get some experience, then do their postgraduate.
So you wouldn't say this is better than that? Both go hand in hand?
Both are important. So I think it is important that they have a balance between the two. Right? It is important for people to realize that both are important, not only the education. You can't have experience alone without education. You can't have education alone without experience.
And Mr. Mihular, you have been in the Board of Ethics as well. So could you tell the audience what is ethics and the importance of ethics in your professional life? When
we call ourselves professionals, The most important characteristics of a professional is integrity, doing the right thing. You know, I like to take it simple. I'm sure we all know this Asian culture. You know, if you go to your village, right, you go to a funeral house or a wedding, and if you are a professional, people give you that respect. A lot of people, you know, they give you, you know, they show you some additional respect to you because you're a professional. Because people expect, right, from professionals a certain standard of behavior, and that's why that respect comes. So, for a professional, if he is going to get the respect that he should get, integrity comes number one. Because they said, see, education without ethics is actually more dangerous, right? Because you could have lots of very clever, you could be absolutely brilliant, but if you are totally unethical, you can be actually a disaster in society. So, to me, ethics is very important. I'll give you one simple example, because I served on the old accounting standards board for several years. You know, 1995, I got into old IASC, so we did a lot of accounting. And one of the things we realized, we drafted rules of how you do accounting, what you should do, how do you account for this transaction, how do you do rules of how to do the standards. And similarly for auditing, there were standards established. But you see, the global community realized, the financial community realized, you can have all the standards that you can write, but if you don't apply the standards in an ethical manner, all of the standards are no use. If you talk all of these major failures that happened in the US, you know, with all of this, you know, the famous failures that we had, I don't want to get into names, but theoretically they complied with the standard. But ethically, zero. You see, they just followed the rules, letters of the law, but not the spirit of the law. So, the International Ethical Standards Board really recently updated their ethics code, and I was on the board for 6 years. And one of the things we said is, look, ethics is very critical, because without ethics, auditing standards, accounting standards, and any other standards you write will have no value, because if you don't apply those standards in the spirit in which it is meant, then you will not get what you want. So, to me, I think ethics therefore is the absolute base. If you don't have that, you are lost, right? That's why when I talk to young people, I keep saying integrity is one and everything. All of the other things like confidentiality, everything are good things, but if you don't have that,
ethics,
everything is like a house. You can build a beautiful house, several stories with all of the windows, everything, but there's no foundation, it will collapse. All it needs is one strong blowing and gone. That is what ethics is. You might have all the lovely, all the other standards, everything built up, but if the ethics is weak, then it will collapse. All it needs is an influence, a strong blowing and gone. So that's why I keep saying ethics is very, very critical. And the thing I tell people is that sometimes you might think that, oh, I can get over a situation by just doing what people call a white lie, you know. People don't notice. But you know the thing, what I keep saying is that once you tell one, you have to tell several other lies to cover the first lie. And then you get whole embroiled into a lot of it. So sometimes, if you want to be ethical, and this is also sometimes people say, you have to have courage. No, I'm not saying courage means you get in the but the courage to say the right thing. Even if it means that it may put you in a spot. So I tell young people, face up it, because if you do that, right, people will respect you for what it is.
And you also feel true to yourself.
Absolutely, absolutely.
So Mr. Mihular, could you tell me how important was the CIMA qualification in your line of work?
You know, I look at CIMA as I did Chartered and CIMA. Chartered made me a specialist financial accountant. I mean, I understood everything about financial. But CIMA gave me the all-round view in the broad horizon, right? Which I think is very important. That's why I always find, and I encourage my young people, do both. because one tells you all the nitty-gritty and nuts and bolts of accounts completely, and the other one gives you what I call the icing on the cake. So you have the cake and you have the icing. So I look at CIMA gave me what I call the icing onto the chartered cake that I baked.
Yeah. So we'll dive into some personal questions if it's all right with you.
Sure.
What inspires you and motivates you 24/7?
You see, I keep saying, everybody must do what they like best.
Yeah.
It may not pay you the best, but if you like what you're doing, you don't need motivation.
Yeah.
What happens with some of us is that somebody offers more money, right? It almost happened to me. Somebody offered me, right? If I had gone, maybe I would have gone. You see, then what? We are another job. Somebody gives you more money, you go to the other one. You go to the other one. You're never happy in any one of them. To me, I keep saying, when I tell my children, I have done 43 years in KPMG, right? My 44th year.
Yeah.
If I was given another chance, I will do the same thing, and they think I'm mad, right? Because I have enjoyed every day. Even now, in the morning when I get up to go to work, I look forward to going to work. So if young people come and ask me, "Sir, what should I do?" I said, when you get up in the morning, do you look forward to come to work? If you do, that's a job that you should be in. If you think, oh, another day, then look for another job.
When you have some passion for the job.
The passion comes with when you do what you enjoy.
Yes, yeah. Thank you so much, Mr. Mihular, for having us. Thank you. And we wish you the very best of luck in your future endeavors.
Thank you. It's a pleasure. Thank you for having me, and wish the program all success.
Yes, thank you. So we have come to an end of our show, and I'll see you again next week where we'll be speaking to another eminent personality. Until then, I'm your host, Amantha Pereira, signing off.